Hello there, Eagles fans, and welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. My name is Basil.
And I'm Baz, the father.
And we're recording Friday, November 3rd, 2023, the day after, who played last night?
Pittsburgh
and Tennessee. Pittsburgh and Tennessee is okay game. Me and Ben watched the whole thing.
I wanted Tennessee, but go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted Tennessee, but AFC doesn't really matter in the end. And it is weird that Pittsburgh's 5-3. That's the same record as San Francisco. It's kind of strange, but it's the same record that Dallas is going to be after this weekend. Oh, just kidding. All right, take it easy. But we are just recording on that Friday, like I said, having a good day off today. So we're just hanging out, having a good time, getting ready for the weekend, getting ready for Sunday. How you feeling this weekend, Ed?
I feel pretty good. Obviously, I'm flying out of town on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, so I'll be at the airport quite early, which kind of messes up the early game, unfortunately. But I'll be landing in Chicago well before the Eagles-Cowboys game, so I'll be able to get in my hotel. I already got to check in early, so get my rental car, do all that stuff. So I'll be in good shape.
Definitely. That's good to hear. Yeah, so like he said, for all those that are coming to Frankie's on Sunday, he won't be there. I will be there, but you'll see me there. But we'll go ahead and just jump into the episode. As always, we're going to be doing a little preview of the game coming Sunday, Eagles and Cowboys, some roster lookover, injury report, talk about some other news, some of our favorite moments in the history of the Cowboys rivalry with the Eagles. But as always, we want to go ahead and plug the club. We are a part of the Philadelphia Eagles fan club of Colorado Springs. It's the page on Facebook. You can go like it, follow it, join it. It'll ask you some questions for you to be able to be approved to get in there. If you want to come watch a game with us, we watch at Frankie's on Powers and Galley here in Colorado Springs every single Eagles game. And I do want to point out, if you're coming to Frankie's this Sunday, we are doing a food drive for Care and Share. It's going to be for non-perishable food, so if you want to bring that. If you don't want to go to the store and buy some food, don't worry, you can bring some cash. Bill, our big friend Bill, he'll go and buy that non-perishable food for you. But we'll go ahead and jump into it now. Eagles and Cowboys, they're going to be playing. They're going to be renewing the rivalry on 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:25 p.m. here in Colorado Springs on Sunday. What do you have as a weather watch, Dad?
Well, I got the game's going to be clear. It's going to be 64 degrees, probably a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind, 53% humidity. So it's going to be a typical fall day in Philadelphia. Of course, the game, the game is at 4:25. Sun will be setting at 4:53. Okay. Now you're going to say to me, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Well, don't forget to turn your clocks back in Philly this week. Yeah. So you don't want to be an hour late to the game. So that's why the sun is setting at 4:53, not 5:53 like it is probably tonight.
For sure. Yeah, make sure you set those clocks back on tomorrow. Tomorrow Saturday, yes. Tomorrow night. Yep. Awesome. Well, going into the all-time series record, unfortunately, Dallas leads 73, 55, and 0. That's all-time, including playoffs. Playoffs alone, Dallas leads 3-1. Last 25 years, interestingly enough, in the regular season, I'm just going to say that, in the regular season, it's 25-25 over the last 25 years. So over the last 50 games, we've split perfectly.
That is crazy.
It is crazy, and I know you had a little bit of a fun statistic to jump over on another Dallas team, correct?
Yes, I do. The one team that's never beaten the Philadelphia Eagles from Dallas are called the Dallas Texans. This was in 1952. The New York Yanks moved to Dallas. There were two brothers down there that were millionaires and bought the team. They couldn't making any money because the fans weren't coming to the game. There's a reason for that. If you want to really know, check it out on the Wikipedia. It's really interesting. It's a good long story. But they moved to Dallas and they played at the Cotton Bowl. And one of the games they played. They were 1-11 that year. The Eagles beat them 38-21. Really interesting fact for those Minnesota fans out there. Bud Grant was the wide receiver for the Eagles. He was a coach for the Vikings for many, many years.
Yeah.
He had 11 catches with 203 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Wow. I can't imagine. I mean, he can't be more than 6'2", maybe 6 foot. So it's just crazy about the NFL back then. They only drew 2,208 people to the game when they were playing on Thanksgiving. They played the Chicago Bears and beat the Bears, which really pissed off George Halas, who was the owner of the Bears for many, many years. The Halas family still owns them, but he was really mad that they lost that game. They only had 2,208 people at the game that day. The same day, the Akron High School championship high school championship game drew 14,284 people. So it just shows you that the fans weren't really buying the team that came into town that year.
Wow.
And, after like 8 games, they had to move back to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And they ended up, the two brothers lost like $250,000, which you can imagine in 1952 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So then the team got sold back to the league. And anyway,
wow,
they ended up folding. They only played 1 season. Now, most of you know that the Dallas Texans were reinvigorated in 1960 in the AFL, played for 3 years, and then they moved to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And they are now our nemesis, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's what you got.
Wow, nice little history lesson. I like that. So undefeated against that, Dallas. So
that's right.
That's nice.
1-0.
Yeah. You got a favorite Dallas moment? I know we were just talking about some history, but you have a favorite Dallas moment in the past, the Eagles versus Cowboys?
Well, you said we're 25-25 in the last 50 games, so there's 25 favorite moments right there. So every game we win is a great win for me, a great moment. But I picked this year, this time I picked the 1987 second game in the strike year. So 1987, another history lesson for you youngins. 1987, the NFL struck. So there was a strike for 3 weeks. And the Eagles were an up-and-coming team at the time, but Buddy Ryan was the coach. He refused to field a team. He didn't even care. So they were pulling people off the street. We ended up going 0 for 3. But during we played the Cowboys during that streak, and Tom Landry was the coach at the time, who was a longtime coach for them. He was also an NFL player back in the 60s as well, which is another interesting thing to think, because some of these guys are so small. They're not very big guys, probably 200 pounds. Anyway, Tom Landry, in that game, some of the players crossed the picket line. Some of the big-name players crossed the picket line. The Eagles did not. None of them did. And this is back in Reggie White and all that great defense we had.
Randall, yeah.
Anyway, Tom Landry ran the score up, and Buddy Ryan, for years, he was complaining that Tom Landry run the score up. And we all know that they were always stat hounds, the Cowboys anyway. And, I'm not going to give you much love for the Cowboys here today. So I may talk and I might make some of those fans of the Cowboys get a little upset. But anyway, Tom Landry used to run the score up all the time. They also were stat hounds, and they would, beef up quarterbacks, run backs when they were winning by 30. Yeah. Anyway, so in the second game of that season, we were playing them, and we were really good before the strike, and after the strike, we got right back to it. We were winning the game. The second game we were winning, and at the very end of the game, we were up by 10 points with, I think, 10 seconds to go or 8 seconds. Correct. And Buddy Ryan called a bomb to Mike Quick, who was still playing in 1985, which is interesting.
87, yeah.
And 87. Sorry.
Yeah.
And Randall threw a pass interference, and instead of just taking a knee, they ran Keith Byers in for a touchdown, so the final score was 37-20. And, Landry stormed off that field, faces red beat. It was just great. Yeah. And of course, Buddy, everybody hated Buddy back in those days from the other teams because he was that kind of coach. But so then the next year, 1988, the Eagles, again, were good. And we swept the Cowboys that year. We beat them 24-23 in game 1, and in Dallas, we beat them 23-7 in game 2, so we swept them in 1988. So, right. And we would have swept them if we played them for real in 1987 as well.
Agreed. Yep, that's agreed. Yep.
But yeah, that was a big thing. And of course, Landry lasted one more year. So in '89, I believe he was fired, and then that's when Jimmy Johnson took over. When the guy who owns the team now bought him. So, of course. And then they fired Landry. They didn't even tell him. I think he got like a postcard or something saying he was fired. So they disrespected. I mean, that's the thing about the Cowboys back in those days. The fans, they loved Tom Landry. He was great. Won all those Super Bowls with him. And then when they did the thing with Jimmy Jones and Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones, they just threw him on the trash heap. Yeah. I mean, it was very disrespectful. And if you can go back that far, on SportsCenter and stuff in those days, there was a lot of no love between that whole thing. It was a bad deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Going on to my favorite Dallas memory, goes back to 2013. It was Week 17. We played against the Cowboys, and the winner was to win the division. I believe we were still going to be able to make the playoffs if we lost, but they weren't. I can't remember it exactly. But no matter what, it was for the division. Week 17, when we had Nick Foles, and it was his big Pro Bowl year, all MVP in the Pro Bowl season, all that sort of stuff, and Brandon Boykin who was a cornerback that I loved dearly back then. He picked off, I believe, Kyle Orton to seal the game, game-winning interception, walk-off, 24-22. We went on to win the NFC East, go to the playoffs as a division winner. Fortunately, we lost in the first game against the Saints, but I just remember we had a big party that day at our house. All of our cousins, aunts, uncles, a bunch of people were there.
Nice.
So when that happened, we were going nuts. It was so much fun, especially because we gave them the ball back with like a minute 42, and it was like, oh, this isn't good. Our defense is good, but not that good, And first play, Brandon Boykin interception when he was targeting, I believe, Jason Witten. Just a great interception, jumped right into it and got it and sealed the victory for us. It was just amazing.
And you said Kyle Orton was the starter for that game because Tony Romo was the starter in those days. What happened to Romo?
No clue.
I remember
look it up.
About 2 or 3 days before that game, an injury report came out that said Tony Romo was injured. And we were like, what? Like it just came out of the blue. So Kyle Orton started and they were close, but
that's weird. It says here he was placed on injury reserve for back injury.
But it was like Thursday of the week. It wasn't like Monday or Tuesday. We heard that late, and I just remember it was very. Oh my gosh, what happened?
Yeah. Going into this game, Dad, what Eagle are you most looking forward to?
So I've been all around this season, picking different players, and I've kind of haven't had a great track record. Most of the guys I've been picking, I've been trying to grab new guys.
Yeah.
So this particular game, I chose Josh Sweat. So he's been coming on. The rush was great against the Miami game that we were at. But last week, with the Sam Howell, we were supposed to sack him 5 or 8 times. We never got to him, but I know we were close. So I am looking forward to him to get a couple sack, fumble, touchdowns this weekend. But maybe just a couple sack fumbles would be nice. But, so I'm going to keep my eye on Josh Sweat. It's hard to miss him because when you're watching the game, he's always on the bottom screen, on the right side there going up to the quarterback. So hopefully we can get a couple blindside shots on Dak and get it going.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going with Lane Johnson. Obviously, he's going to be going up against Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. The last sack that Lane Johnson led up in his career was back in 2019. Or I'm sorry. 2019, or it would have been maybe January of 2020.
Okay.
But it was in that season, the 2019-20 to 2020 season, and it was against DeMarcus Lawrence in the Cowboys game in a rout when they destroyed us. It was horrible. Yeah. I turned off the game. I remember towards the middle of the fourth quarter because I was with my friends in college, and I was like, I can't. Let's do something else. I don't want to see this. So I'm looking forward to Lane Johnson. I think he's got a huge test this week with both of those guys, Parsons and Lawrence, lining up against him. They move around on the line a lot, so that they're really going to be facing the whole offensive line. But mostly they're going against they're going to be going against Lane. So I think that's a big deal. What do you have as a matchup of the game? I know you might have.
Just one thing about Johnson. I was looking at. Kind of doing a little prep work for this pod today. I was looking at the first quarter of the season, the PFF, top ranked guys. And of course, Lane he might have been on there, but he wasn't number 1. And it's always funny, here's a guy who's been phenomenal for 3 seasons now, hasn't given up a sack. Now, last week it was close. There was a couple close ones.
In the Dolphins game, a lot of people believed he let up his first sack of the season.
Okay.
I believe it's kind of a cop-out. They did blame it on Sua because he was supposed to slide on that play.
Gotcha.
He was supposed to slide right. It was a fire.
Right.
It was a fire slide.
Okay.
And he didn't do that. He missed his assignment. And Lane was blocking the guy who sacked him. So you can say what you want to say. You can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Technically, it does not go against him because of they blame Sua Peta for not sliding. But I saw Lane Johnson let up a sack.
And this year there's been a lot of pressure from the right side,
big time.
When Juergens went out, that kind of changed the offensive cohesiveness that we had there, where they had to put Sue in there. And of course, last week Sue went down for a few plays, but I see he's good to go this week, so hopefully we'll get him going. But let's see. So you said I got 5 things on the game that you were talking about. So the 5 things I'm looking for this week, and I know usually we pick 1 or 2, but I was looking at them and I figured I'd make a little list. I've got Micah versus Lane, which is going to happen.
Yeah.
He'll probably go on the go against Mulata. Maybe a 1 or 2. They kind of mix it up, especially if there's no if he's got nothing's helping. Like if he's not making any moves, they might switch him over or, do that quasi linebacker blitz type thing.
Yeah.
I've got Dak versus Sean Desai, our D coordinator, to see how we're going to scheme him this week. So, it's funny how this year we've had, the defensive lines we should get a lot of sacks with, we didn't. And then when they got a good offensive line, we did get a bunch of sacks. So that's I'm hoping works this week. The Cowboys have a good offensive line. Of course, most of their fans will tell you they're the best offensive line in the league. That's right, in history. But we know better than that. They've got some spots open. They've got some guys that were banged up earlier in the year. I'm not sure if everyone is back who's back. But they do have a rookie out there somewhere, I believe, playing on the line. But I'm not sure if that's still happening or if their guy came back. I've got Hurt versus the pain tolerance of his knee. So hopefully he can get past that because, he's been looking a little bit hobbled the last few weeks.
Yeah.
More last week than the week before, but it was very noticeable last week if you were looking at it when he was rushing up to the line there. I've got CD versus the Eagles zone. So the thing about CD, one of the better wide receivers in the league. And I hate, just because he's a Cowboy, I'm not going to say he sucks. He's a good player.
Yes.
He's a real good player. The thing about him is he does move around too. He plays on the outside, but he also does a lot of slot.
Yeah.
And what have we had some problems with this season? Slot. So hopefully we can also go against that trend, get a couple tip passes at the line, which we have not done much at all, and get a few interceptions. And I'm looking really for just something early in this game to throw Dak off because we know when he's in a big game, he plays great against us, 8-3. We know that he's been phenomenal and. Got to say it. I mean, he folds against some other teams, but against us, he's always at his best. So hopefully we can get to him early, get in his head, and let him falter. And my last thing is the AJ and Devontae versus. Okay, now I'm going to make some people mad. An aging Stephon Gilmore.
Correct, Stephon Gilmore.
But when I was looking up Stephon Gilmore, and I wanted, I know he's older and he played great, but now they got him and they thought he was the savior. And then of course Diggs went out, so that kind of changed him. But the guy they need to beat really is Bland. Let's see, Deron Bland, 5th round pick out of Sacramento State. Then he went to Fresno State, but of the 2022 draft, so he's a second-year player. This guy's good. He's really good. So he does a lot of intercepting. Yeah. So you know what that means. You got to do a little fake punt. A little fake, get him to bite and then him deep. Do that thing where they go down and stop and then run past him. So hopefully we can do a double move on him because he's definitely got 3. He's got 3 pick sixes already this season. And again, I'm not championing him, but when there's a good player, you got to know he's out there. So I say go against Gilmore myself. But if we can beat Bland or get him off, get up off his game, we should be in good shape.
Yeah. Some unfortunate things I have to say on here. Over the last 3 weeks, our offensive line has allowed the most pressures in the NFL. It's pretty disappointing for a team that is considered to kind of have the best offensive line in the league. I feel like that happens every year. At some point, we get hailed as the best offensive line, and then after 3 weeks, we've had this many sacks, and it's towards the top of the league, and you're like, what the heck? Why are we doing this? And this is why I hate things like PFF and other Instagram and Twitters that rate the offensive lines and stuff like that. This is the best offensive line. Well, leave it alone. Prove it when we prove it. Right. I'm tired of it. But, I think the matchup of the game for me is going to be against our secondary. Obviously, our secondary has not been what we want them to be this year. I know the injuries have played a big part in that. This is going to be the first time this season we have 2 games in a row with the same secondary. It's going to be a big deal.
Yes.
We're not moving now corners and different
trying guys out. Right.
Different safety. This is officially, we're going to be actually playing the same starters last week and the same players that played last week. They're going to play again this week. So that's big on the secondary to have that consistency. That's one of the most important, groupings of the team to have consistency in.
Definitely.
It's hard.
Offensive line and defensive back.
I definitely agree with you there. But I've got some Dallas team stats here. This is where the scary part comes in. Their offense, total yards, they're 16th with 355 yards 15th with 355 yards a game. Passing yards, they're 16th with 220. Thought that would be a little higher. Rushing, they are 11th. With 117. In points, they are second with 28.1 points per game. Third down percentage, they are third at 48% of the time they get that first down, which is third. That's incredible. Defensively, this is the scarier part. Second in total yards, 303 yards per game they allow. That's the second lowest in the league. Passing yards, they allow the fourth lowest with 178.6. Rushing yards, they do allow a lot, 108.9. That's 17th, so it's a little bit below average, middle of the pack-ish. And points, they're fourth best. They allow only 17 points per game. And third down percentage, they are seventh best. They allow only 34.5% of the time you get that first down on third down.
Okay.
So this is easily, like we talked about, this is the best team we're playing against all season long so far. This will be the best team we've played. This will be at least best overall team all around, well-rounded defense and offense. So, I don't like to get confident. I know I made the joke earlier in the episode about them being 5-3 after this week, but I don't like to get confident because this game always scares me every single year. This is the most stressful week of my life every single year whenever we play the Cowboys. It stinks because you're laying there on the couch watching TV and you're having a good time, and then you're like, play the Cowboys this weekend. Like for me, it's a stress that never leaves my body. It's stress until the end of the game, and I'm not happy until we win, and I'm upset the entire time until we win. Like I'm not ever happy until we have won the game.
Yeah, we're never happy even when we win the game. So
true.
That's the Cowboys. Yeah, this is it. And one of the things is, like you say, most of the Eagles fans and a lot of the shows you listen to, bring on the Cowboys. It's Cowboys week. And I'm just like you.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't want to play.
Let's talk about it after the game. Let's get it, after we win.
It probably doesn't help that, of course, they have the fakest fans in the world. So there's fans everywhere. There's always, everywhere you go, there's a Cowboys fan.
Right. Who grew up in Boise, Idaho.
Yes, yeah.
And Tennessee. And, he's got a football team in his town, but he's still a Cowboys fan. Okay, we get you.
Born and raised in Denver.
But he's a Yankees fan, and he's a Penguins fan, right?
That's the thing.
Gotcha.
So it's hard because, one of my bosses is a Cowboys fan. So one of my I guess she doesn't live there, but one of my coworkers was a Cowboys fan. It's just hard because you're like, they love to talk trash when they win because, my team won. But when they lose, they're like, I didn't even watch the game. I can't stand it.
They played this weekend.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
But I'm number one fan.
Yeah.
So, the one thing that gets me is, we win this game, which we will. It'll be a third or fourth highlight you see on Sunday or Monday morning.
Yeah.
We lose this game, it'll be the highlight, the president will be talking about it. And it'll be on every political show. And,
yeah, true. Yeah.
It's just, and that's the life of an Eagles fan. That's why when we win with our heart, and we win. We enjoy a win. We don't just go, we don't just go, they won. Yeah, that's great. I mean, we were back there just a couple of weeks ago, and we're sitting outside a lot out there. There's a lot of hoagie shops where it's just a hole in the wall, right? A window, you don't even get in the building, and they're in there taking your money and making your sandwiches. And we were sitting out in the parking lot, this old lady, she had to be in her 70s.
At least.
And, of course, we're all geared up on our Eagle gear. And she walks up to us and she says something about the Phillies. Then she mentions –
what a game. Yeah, she's all, what a great game.
Yeah,
she's like, the Phillies
game. And we told her
the Eagles. Yeah, it's like, what a great game of the Eagles. Oh, I'm so sorry the Phillies lost. I'm so upset. Our Uber drivers, man. Everyone in Philly. We get an Uber driver and they see in an Uber and they see our shirts and they're like, oh, man, wasn't that a great game? The girl, she's like, oh, yeah, wasn't that a great game on Sunday? And you're like, man, like these – it's everywhere. It's so much fun. It's just great. It's funny because I make those jokes all the time. I'll be at work and someone will come in and I'm sitting there opening an account for them. I try to relate to them and I'm, so are you, big football fan? Yeah, I'm like, the Broncos won. And they're like, oh, yeah, I don't really. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's just not enough out here.
Yeah.
I'm always like, man, why is there no one like me?
Yeah.
But going back to Philly, dude, my Uber and these people are, oh, man, what a great game. Like, it was everywhere.
Yeah, it's
every
funny.
shop we went to, every restaurant, it was awesome. The bars.
My daughter was saying, he's walking in the Eagles game, right? Go Birds, go Birds. Baz, you don't have to say it to everybody here.
Yeah.
Don't have to say it. You're not in the airport.
It's funny, when you're here in Colorado, at least, for all those that are watching in Philly, our hundreds of thousands of fans, when you're in Colorado, if you see someone with an Eagles hat on, you're like, whoa, like you go over, hey man, go Birds, like what's going on? You talk to them and they're a fan and you're having a great time. It's like, oh man, like
true.
I tell them at the bar, all that sort of stuff. But
come on.
When you go to Philly,
watch the game with us.
When you go to Philly, you're like, oh, I forgot. It's not a thing to say over here. It's a lifestyle. It's a part of their everyday lives. Why would you say that?
We went to a diner up in Conshohocken, which is, probably 45 minutes away from Philly.
Yep.
And we're sitting at the table. Of course, we have our Eagles gear on. And this old lady come in. She had to be in her late 70s. oh, did you guys watch the game? We said we were at the game. Oh, it was a great game. I'm like, here she is sitting by herself in her house watching the game, and now she's going to breakfast. Yeah, amazing.
Isn't that awesome?
So much fun.
Good stuff. We'll go ahead and jump over off the game. We'll talk about some roster changes. Big one, Julio Jones. We signed him to the 53-man roster. Still making the same money. Not much of a big change, but it's nice because, he's probably here to stay now.
On the
53-man roster, he's here to stay.
Yeah.
Again, like we said, we're not expecting much, but hey, one touchdown. If he gets 4 by the end of the season, I'll be happy.
Well, he took a shot to the head after that too. And did you see the lineman?
They went nuts.
It's funny because the defender thought they were going to attack him.
Oh, I know.
And he was like throwing a punch. And
he was like, oh.
They weren't even looking at him. They were jumping around Julio.
AJ went crazy. The offensive line and Lane landed.
It was great.
Yeah. Cam Jurgens, we opened up that 21-day practice window. Doesn't look like he will be playing, which bleeds on over to looks like Tyler Steen is going to be getting the start at right guard. We saw him in 6 snaps against Washington last week. Looked great. Looked solid. Looked really good. He's a big dude. We talked about 6'6". I mean, he's technically in college. He was a tackle. He was a right tackle. So, it's kind of he's a big dude. He's 6'6", 320 pounds. I mean, this guy's a monster. It's funny though because if you put him next to Mailata, he probably doesn't look
right.
like
Right. Well, like I told you, I saw a thing on YouTube, and if you get a chance out there, fans, look up Tyler Steen's 6 plays on YouTube, and there's this guy that kind of did a little spiel on each play and what he did, and boy, he looked great.
He looked really good.
And then we were talking a little bit earlier, and obviously we know Cam is kind of the next year, maybe the center, if not the year following.
Correct, yeah.
When Kelsey does decide to hang him up. Hope he never does. But and Steen, if he can come out in this game and be that right guard, we have Sue still is okay. He's full participant, so he's ready to go. But I think that using Steen would be it's a great thing because if we can get him to be our guy and Cam is our center next year, this offensive line will be around for another 5 years, 6 years.
That's the thing, because at left side we got Mailata and Landon, and they're both still relatively young. I mean, Landon's 24, maybe 25.
Mailata's 26, 27, maybe. Yeah,
still young. Still very young guys.
A lot of tread on the tires.
Definitely. Yeah, no, 20. Yeah, Mailata's 26. You're right. So young side there, and then you would have Cam, who's also very young. I should have had ages ready.
He's only a couple of years,
24, 25. Yeah. And same thing with Steen. He would be 24, 23.
He's just a rookie.
I mean, the only older would be Lane.
Right.
But other than that, you got a base foundation of good offensive linemen, great offensive linemen in Landon and Mailata, who are young, and you got to, they build together. The longer you're together, it's like a starting 5 in the NBA.
Definitely.
The longer you play basketball together with your friends, with your, the better you are. And that's like the offensive line. Together, you're better the longer you are.
That's the core. We have the core defensive linemen now. We got Davis and Carter, and it just breathes life for the next couple of years, at least,
Absolutely.
So hopefully keep your eye on, I don't even know his number.
56.
Look at number 56, and he's the one that taps the center when it's ready to snap the ball.
Yeah,
so just keep your eye on him, see how well he plays, and man, if we can get another star in the making there with Stoutland, we're in good shape here for years to come.
Steen's only 23. I just looked it up, but I will say, quick comment. I'm a big numbers guy. I'm a big jersey numbers guy. 56. No, not a good number.
No, 77.
That's got to be changed. Well, 77.
Bring it up.
Best number in
no, I know. It's weird, the NFL numbers now. I never was a numbers guy. But
offensive lineman wise, 56.
That's a linebacker number, man. That's a linebacker.
Yeah. It is hard because I know we lost some numbers, some good numbers with retired players. Weister at 75. Who's number 70 again? We tried having it memorized.
Another lineman.
Yeah.
Al something.
So, well, that's Al Weister. But, no, so, I don't like the number 56. That's got to change in the next few years. Obviously, he can't be ever 62 because that's going to get retired. Sure. So we'll see what I hope, 77 would be a great number for him. 76, is that retired? I think that might be retired for us too, which is another really good number. 78 is Opeta, so if he's gone, that's a great number as well. But, that's 56. Yeah. 55 is a good number for the offensive line, but that's Graham's, of course.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird how it works.
56. I just don't like
I'm a 70s lineman guy, and that's just the way I feel.
I agree. I'm okay with centers and guards. Like I said, 60, 62 is a good number.
Great number.
64 is a good number.
Okay.
65 is a good number.
66 is a linebacker for me, Bill Berge back in the day. So
see, that's wrong.
I know, but that's the problem with numbers. depending on what era you were around the team, you have your number guy,
It's true. Yeah, 66. That can be a guard, but I just don't like 66. It's funny. I don't know why 68. That's a good number to me.
I know.
I'm weird about the numbers, but to me it's a big deal. To me, it's a big deal.
Understand it, and I'm sure the people out there understand it.
There's
too.
people probably like me who are number 56. That was Sam Allo was 56 at one point. Right. What are you doing? Yeah. He used to be 73, which is a pretty good number. But yeah, Sidney Jones, he's another guy. He's gonna have to change his number. He's number 21. Ugh, get rid of it. Can't stand it.
Brown. Sidney Brown.
Sorry, did I say Jones?
Jones. He was too, right?
I know. No, I don't.
But he may have been. I do know what you're saying.
I think, but I'm sorry, Sidney Brown. That's funny. I knew I would at one point say Sidney Jones. But,
just like I always say the other name for the Commanders all the time. I can't help it.
Sidney Brown, though, number 21. That's got to change at some point. You got to change that number. That's a disgusting number. But we'll go ahead and move on over into our injury report. What you got?
Just right.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and jump to our injury report. For our did not participates today, Bradley Roby for his shoulder, he's going to be out. Boston Scott's for personal reasons. We don't know what's going on there, but he's going to be out. Limited participants got James Bradbury for his thigh. He's listed as playing. He's not questionable. It's no designation. Yes, did big time. Grant Calcaterra, a concussion for him. He's out. Cam Jurgens, foot. He's out. Full participants got Jalen Carter with his back. Good to see that he's going to be playing.
2 days in a row.
Yep. Yeah. Jordan Davis, his hamstring, he's going to be playing. Opeta, he is going to be, he's there, he's dressing.
He's ready.
He'll be there in case anything happens, which is good. It's good to have a good option just in case something happens with Steen. Jack Stoll, he'll be playing. He's a full participant with an ankle injury. Milton Williams, he'll be playing. He had a little shoulder injury he's fighting through right now.
We need that bye, man.
Yeah, big time. But also, interestingly, we're seeing some tight end injuries here. It's kind of weird.
Well, Calcaterra, he had injuries in college. He had three concussions in college. So I know that once he got this concussion now, they're probably got to keep their eye out for him.
That's right.
So we may see Alberto. I heard.
I think so. I think we're going to see him. I think he'll. I don't know how much or how premier he'll be. He was a 4th round pick, which Calcaterra I think was an undrafted free agent for us. No, he was a 7th or 6th round.
He's been good, but he doesn't catch. He's the only other catcher we got. Yeah. Stoll's he pulls and knocks guys off the ball. So
he's a great.
Hopefully, he does a great game this week.
Blocker. Yeah, with him being hurt too, but yeah, he's a great blocker. I think Alberto, he'll get some time on some.
He can catch the ball for us.
12 personnel.
Stretch it, man. Stretch it.
Absolutely. See some 12 personnel out there. But we'll go ahead and jump into our other news. Of course, we talk about the other Philly sports here sometime. Sixers. Since the last time, they made a great trade since the last time we were here. They finally got rid of Harden. That's what I'm happy for. I just wanted to see him gone. Got some good, solid depth players. I don't have them written down, but I think it's Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, KJ Kenny. What's the last name? I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. And, Kelly Oubre we already had. I forgot the last guy. Robert Covington. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's great to see that guy come back. So yeah, I'm very happy with the trade. It's not like it was blockbuster and oh man, we got so much back. Right. But no,
to get a player off the team.
For sure, it was. And
he's already started some jawing with Embiid too. I don't know if you saw that, but whatever.
Good luck, buddy. But yeah, no, it was good to see us get some, depth. They're not super young, but it's good depth nonetheless. I'm happy to see Robert Covington back, and just to see Harden gone is really great. We do have some first-round picks. I think we have 2 first-round picks next year now, which is going to be good. We also have the second most projected cap space, which is good. So next offseason is going to be a big offseason for us. Maxey and Embiid, they're giving them the keys to the team. See if they can win everything with Tobias and Kelly Oubre and all those guys in the backcourt with them. But I'm very happy about the trade. Flyers, they do play tonight against the Sabres. They dropped one the other day. They're dropping 4-5-1. I don't know if I should keep talking about them. I am wearing my Flyers shirt for the first time ever, but since the last time they've dropped a few, so they're 4-5-1 now, which is rough because they were looking really good. They're still playing good. Playing good hockey. They had a lot more shots than the other team on goal the other day, but they just couldn't make them, couldn't sink them. Penn State, they are now ranked 11th. It's a little upsetting. They do play Maryland tomorrow, which is actually where Tua's brother is. His younger brother. He's a quarterback at Maryland, so that's cool. We'll see. I don't think a win is going to get them up any higher. And, it's
just maintain. Finish with 1 loss.
Get a bowl, Michigan game. That would be great, but I can't get my hopes up there.
But the coach there might be out because of the old sign stealing incident there with Harbaugh. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah, I heard about it. Do you want to give a quick shout out to someone you were written down?
Yeah, we were here last week, and my sister gave me a call and said, "Hey, it was me that told you that Hurts was hobbled." And I said, "Okay, my brother." Well, I said it was my brother. And then when we were back in Philly, we did visit one of her friends, Tina. So, Tina, we just want to say thanks for your hospitality. We had a great time. And, my sister was giving me a little hard time about that, so I figured I'd make things right today.
I understand. Yeah, we got to spend some good time with her mom and her daughter as well. So shout out to you, Tina, Rachel, and I'm sorry, I don't remember her mom's name. Dang it. I'm sorry. What was it?
Donna?
Maybe. I'm sorry. But shout out to you guys. Thank you for your hospitality again when we were there. We had a great time, fun time, just a lot of laughing, a lot of John and all that sort of stuff. So that was really fun. We're going to go ahead and jump into our Pro, All-Pro, and Legend segment here. So when we choose a player that can have a little bit of debate on, see if they were a Pro, All-Pro, or Legend when they played for the Eagles. I'm choosing this time. Got some weird one for you because there's not going to really be any stats, which does kind of give away the position.
Wow.
So I know you're kind of expecting that.
Yes.
This player was drafted in 1998 out of Florida State with the 11th overall pick. So round 1, pick 11. He played with the Eagles from 1998 to 2008. He was also on the Jaguars and the Chargers. With us, he played 166 games. He started 165 of those. He did come back to retire with the Eagles. He signed like a one-day contract with us to retire as an Eagle in 2012. He was a coach for us in 2013, 2014. He was an offensive assistant coach. I believe right now he's the offensive line coach at IMG Academy, one of the biggest our high school football teams in the nation. He was a second team All-Pro in 2002, a 3-time Pro Bowler in 2001, 2002, and 2004. He is a part of the Philadelphia Eagles Hall of Fame. He is on the Philadelphia Eagles 75th anniversary team, and according to Pro Football Reference, which is a big statistical website that I get all my stats off, he is considered to be the 10th greatest Eagle of all time according to approximate value.
Holy moly. You say he was 11th overall pick in 1998?
Correct.
Oh my gosh. Well, sounds like an offensive lineman to me.
Correct. Yeah, of course. No stats.
Okay, so 98. Oh my gosh. 10 years with us. So it definitely wasn't, who am I thinking of? I'm going to guess a center. Is he a center?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
No, it's okay. It is number 72, Trey Thomas.
Trey Thomas, yep.
Left tackle for us for
he was good.
About 11 seasons.
Yeah, he was great.
He was phenomenal with us.
I didn't know he was the number 1 pick.
Yeah, he was 11.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a great pick. He was the.
I was thinking Runyon, but he was
right tackle.
He was a free agent.
Yes,
and that was
Thomas. He was the left tackle. He was the bodyguard for McNabb almost McNabb's whole career. Really, McNabb's whole career with us. 98 to 2008. McNabb was with us till 2008, right?
Yeah.
So he was his left tackle his whole career.
Wow.
He didn't miss he missed a few different games with us. He missed a few games, a few different seasons, but he was very durable. Played a lot of games with us. Like I said, he played 166 games with us, only 8 games with Jaguars.
Yeah, he should be a Super Bowl champion, too.
That's the thing. He did go to 5 NFC Championship games with us.
Yes.
4 straight.
One
in 2008. He went to 1 Super Bowl. And he went to 5 NFC Championship games in his career with us. So,
man, he was great.
Yeah, what do you have as far as Pro, All-Pro, or Legend? What do you got?
I'm going to have to give him legend status. I just, when you get a 10-year player, obviously probably not retires number, probably not Hall of Fame guy, but, to play that many years, 10, 11 years, and, in a solid team, and here's the bummer. If we had won the Super Bowl in 2004 and again in 2008, which I think we should have done or could have done, although, that's just the way it goes. But, yeah, I would say he's an Eagles legend. I say his shirt should be one of those ones you put up on the wall.
I do agree with you because he is I'd say he's the second best left tackle in Philadelphia Eagles history behind Jason Peters. And Jason Peters, for me, kind of hurt his own legacy by playing for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But so I would say Trey Thomas is the second best left tackle in Eagles history behind Peters.
Yeah.
And, unless Weistert was a left tackle, which I'd have to rethink it.
Yeah.
But Jordan Mailata,
era.
hopefully Jordan Mailata will be the best ever. That's what I like to think, but we'll see. Yeah. As far as being definitely a top 5 Eagles offensive lineman all time, I will have to say he's a legend as well. He was a great player in Madden. I tell you that.
He blocked for a lot of great running backs too.
All those years Westbrook was there. Deuce,
yes,
of course.
Deuce, of course.
All those years Westbrook was there.
Yeah.
He played maybe one season. No, LaShawn started in 2009, right?
Right. So he didn't have him.
So he didn't have LaShawn, but he was the lead block, or he was the left tackle for. Well, just think about all those years that McNabb was an incredible passer and just
and runner.
Yeah. He wasn't getting sacked by anybody on the left side.
No, I agree. That's a good pick.
I wish I had his stats pulled up for. As far as how many sacks he let up, I don't have that ready. But yeah, so according to Pro Football Reference, there's this approximate value thing they do, which is like the value to the franchise and how valuable he is overall. And he is rated as the 10th most valuable player in Eagles history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
You want to guess number 1?
Wow. Eagles value?
It's considered to be by Pro Football Reference the most valuable player.
It's got to be
a
Doc or somebody like that. It's got
close.
Westbrook maybe.
Close.
Not as close. Huh?
Reggie White. He's considered to be the most valuable player in Eagles history.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
We had him 5-6 years, right?
Isn't that weird? That's how great he was when he was with us.
8 years. Yeah, he was great, but
yeah. You got anything else to say?
I do not. No, I don't.
Well, we got a little bit of a longer episode for you this week. I guess we kind of have.
Well, it's Dallas week, man. Be sacked. Bring him on, right? Bring him on.
That's right. Oh man, I'm stressed. I'm so stressed. We'll go ahead and say our goodbyes, though. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If you like our Eagles Therapy podcast, do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. You can email us any questions at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. You can comment below on YouTube, on the YouTube page or the link if you're watching on YouTube. But other than that, from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy podcast, my name is Basil.
And I'm Baz, the father.
Go Birds.
Dallas sucks. Fly, Eagles, fly.